A rat is let out in a lab and locked in a cage. It smells for food, but something invisible catches it and eats it. Sebastian is working on his computer trying to figure out a chemical formula. He tries a simulation, but it doesn't work. He watches his neighbor undressing, but she closes the curtains before he can see anything. Then he gets an idea and changes the chemical formula, trying the simulation again. Sebastian discovers the solution, indicating stability in the element. He informs Linda about it, but she dismisses his personal concerns. Sebastian impresses Linda with his sudden breakthrough. They decide to head to the lab, with Linda suggesting they take separate cars. It's not the right time to disclose their relationship to Sebastian. In the heavily guarded lab, Sebastian uses his fingerprint and password to access the elevator. Thermal cameras help observe invisible animals. Matt interacts with Isabel, an invisible gorilla, who exhibits increased aggression due to prolonged invisibility. Sebastian and Matt chase Isabel, eventually tranquilizing her. Sarah objects to injecting Isabel with the serum without proper testing, but Sebastian proceeds despite her objections. Linda joins them, reminding Sebastian that he hired Sarah because she's the best vet around. Later, Linda prepares the serum and tells Sebastian it's almost ready. Frank from Tech informs them they're ready too. Linda loads the serum into an injection gun and Matt prepares it. Sarah finds a vein in Isabel's arm, but Sebastian insists on doing the injection himself. He injects Isabel, and they see the serum moving through her veins. Her heartbeat rises and her body starts to become visible. They're relieved to see it's working. Isabel's health deteriorates, leading to cardiac arrest. Linda uses a defibrillator to revive her, and Isabel's body gradually becomes visible again. The team confirms stabilization of her quantum signatures, bringing relief to everyone. They return Isabel to her enclosure. They celebrate at a restaurant. Later, Linda rejects Sebastian's reconciliation attempt. Sebastian interacts with an invisible dog in the lab. Sebastian misleads a Pentagon committee about their progress. Kramer warns of consequences if results aren't achieved. Sebastian proposes unauthorized human trials, met with apprehension from the team. Sebastian tries to persuade them, but Sarah can't believe the committee approved the plan. Sebastian doesn't care about their opinion and insists they'll proceed regardless. On the day of the procedure, Matt suggests Sebastian could change his mind, but Sebastian brushes it off. They enter the procedure room, where Sebastian lies on the bed and is connected to an IV drip and restrained. He admits feeling tense with an elevated heart rate. Frank and Janice argue over who gets his Porsche if he dies. They irradiate the serum and give it to Sebastian, who insists on injecting it himself to avoid blame if anything goes wrong. He injects the serum, and Linda notes the moment. Sebastian's body doesn't immediately respond, causing panic. He begins to convulse as patches of his body turn invisible, experiencing unexpected pain. Frank warns of a potential seizure. Sebastian's vital signs fluctuate as he becomes invisible. They prepare the defibrillator, but Matt waits as Sebastian's vital signs stabilize. Frank notes the phase shift moment. Sebastian wakes up 17 hours later, in pain and unable to close his transparent eyelids. He teases colleagues until Frank sees him with goggles. Linda and Matt take him back to his room, where they monitor him. While Sarah sleeps, Sebastian enters the observation room and touches her, causing discomfort. Sarah wakes up unsure if it happened, feeling awful. Linda and Matt consider talking to Sebastian, but Sarah objects. Later, Sebastian's actions unsettle Sarah while Matt tries to maintain professionalism. Frank and Janice enter the lab, where Janice feels uneasy in the restroom, sensing someone watching her. She uses thermal goggles for security. Later, she mentions this to Carter. The team discusses Sebastian's potential mischief now that he's invisible, suspecting trouble. Sebastian overhears their conversation as they leave the kitchen. During Linda's night shift, Sebastian plays pranks on her, which she rejects. The next day, Matt and Carter prepare the serum to reverse Sebastian's invisibility. Linda sprays his arm to reveal veins. They inject him, but he chokes and his vitals become unstable. Sarah realizes his lungs are seized and instructs Carter to intubate him. Sebastian breaks free from his restraints, pushing away Carter and Matt. His body fluctuates between visibility and invisibility. Sarah and Linda intubate him before he disappears again. and Matt performs chest compressions. Sebastian wakes up with Linda by his side, deciding not to inform the committee about his near-death experience. Due to prolonged invisibility, they create a synthetic mask for him. Linda and Matt work unsuccessfully to crack the formula for the reversion serum. Sebastian feels unsatisfied with their efforts. That night, Sebastian feels trapped and decides to leave the lab. He informs Carter, but Carter can't allow it due to the rules. Sebastian argues that he can change the rules and leaves, promising to return soon. Carter notifies Linda, who rushes back to the lab with Matt, worried about Sebastian's whereabouts. Sebastian evades a police guard and drives away, startling some kids at a traffic light. Meanwhile, Linda and Matt worry about Sebastian's unpredictability as they head back to the lab. Sebastian briefly returns to his apartment to grab some belongings, witnessing his neighbor undressing again and scaring her while she showers. He later assaults her. Linda enters his apartment, finding his mask left behind. Back at the lab, the team prepares to search for Sebastian, discussing the need to keep his condition secret. Suddenly, Sebastian returns, claiming he only went home to collect items. Linda confronts him about what she saw, while Matt questions why he risked exposure. Sebastian asserts his authority, but faces Linda's threat to report him to the committee if he leaves again. Sarah learns about their secret and promises not to disclose it. The next day, Carter tests Sebastian and they discuss his actions from the previous night. Sebastian avoids specifics but seeks validation from Carter. That night, Sebastian disturbs Linda's sleep, but she wakes up from the nightmare. Matt believes he's found a solution to their problem. In the lab, they present their findings, but the simulation fails, triggering Sebastian's anger. Linda confronts him about mistreating Matt, suggesting he's trying to fix himself through others. Sebastian feels frustrated, believing his potential is wasted due to Linda's narrow-mindedness. He manipulates a security camera to appear in the lab while he spies on Linda. Enraged by seeing Matt and Linda intimate, he breaks a window. Linda checks the lab's security camera, which falsely shows Sebastian in bed. Sarah discovers the lab dog brutally killed, with Sebastian denying involvement. Linda senses Sebastian's presence and rushes to the lab, finding him missing and the camera tampered with. She decides to involve the committee. Sebastian overhears their plans. Linda and Matt pledge to take responsibility. Sebastian murders Kramer and disrupts communication. The next day, Linda returns to the lab, where Sebastian startles her. Matt reveals Sebastian has been roaming since 3 a.m. Linda struggles to contact military officials due to communication issues. Matt realizes they have no outside line, and the elevator rejects their passwords. Frank discovers Sebastian has cut their access to the security system. They prepare to search for Sebastian, grabbing goggles for visibility. Janice forgets hers and returns, where Sebastian kills her. The team searches Sebastian's room, urging him to reveal his location. Sebastian refuses, enjoying his power and claiming Kramer died before revealing anything. They find Janice's body in a locker. Carter believes Sebastian snapped, but Matt thinks he planned everything. Sarah blames Linda for not stopping the experiment, supported by Frank. Carter seeks direction, and Linda decides they won't wait. They use motion detectors to spot Sebastian on monitors. Matt and Carter search for him while the rest cover them. They lose sight of Sebastian on the monitors, and Matt nearly shoots Carter in confusion. Sebastian ambushes them, causing Matt to shoot pipes to reveal him in the vapor. Sebastian injures Carter and traps Matt in a tunnel. As Sebastian raises the temperature, rendering the goggles useless, Linda rushes to help Matt while the others attend to Carter. Matt and Sebastian argue, leading to a physical confrontation where Linda intervenes just in time to save Matt. Sarah and Frank tend to Carter, but Sarah leaves Frank to get blood for a transfusion. Sarah hears Sebastian entering and uses blood to reveal him. Despite her efforts, Sebastian overpowers her, tranquilizes her, and breaks her neck. Linda and Matt find Frank, who dies as Carter passes away. Sebastian wounds Matt and kills Frank before locking Linda and Matt in the freezer. Inside the freezer, Linda tends to Matt's wound using duct tape. Meanwhile, Sebastian prepares to escape and sets up explosives. Linda uses a defibrillator as a magnet to open the freezer door, rescuing Matt and taking a gas tank before confronting Sebastian. Linda sets Sebastian on fire, but he escapes after a struggle. She activates the sprinkler system, and Matt knocks Sebastian out. Sebastian recovers and attacks them again, but electrocutes himself accidentally. They find a bomb and flee into the elevator shaft. The bomb explodes, sending the elevator up and down, trapping them momentarily. In a struggle, Linda releases the elevator, causing Sebastian to fall into the fire. She climbs up to Matt, and they exit the lab alive as the ordeal ends. Don't forget to comment, what movie would you like me to recap? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video.